Craft beer geeks will say, yeah, I've had a beer float. You take a porter or a stout and some ice cream and you chunk into a glass and it's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. It's really hard to go wrong with a good porter or a stout, a good scoop of vanilla ice cream in a glass. Delicious. But guess what? Most of them stop there. Most of you guys have never gone any further. Well, today we're gonna go further, and I'm taking you with me. Hey Rubio, why are you doing a thing about beer floats? Aren't you all about craft beer and everything that stands for? Well, you know what? Beer floats are fucking awesome. But there are rules that you should play by, real general rules of thumb. Number one, stick to a beer that doesn't have a lot of bitterness. Bitterness doesn't play very well with vanilla fucking cream. It doesn't. It usually amplifies the bitterness, destroys any of the joy that you might have gotten out of this amazing concoction. Number two, stick with good quality ice cream. Something that has in the ingredients either milk or cream or both, more likely both, as the first two ingredients in the ice cream. Don't get any of this bullshit that just has like potato starch or whatever. Get real ice cream. Check the ingredients, folks. And number three, make sure the ice cream gets incorporated into the beer. You need some of the ice cream to melt down into the beer, get mixed up and blend all of its deliciousness in with the beer so that you can get the best flavor. Oh, and number four, serve it with a spoon because you want to eat some of that ice cream along with the thing you're drinking. It's amazing. And there's one more thing, and I'm gonna show you right now how to make a basic ice cream float with beer. You wanna pour your beer first, okay? You don't wanna put your ice cream in first because you're gonna have problems. You pour your beer first into the glass, maybe about halfway, maybe about 3/4 of the way. Who knows, you might be a lunatic. You put your ice cream in on top of the beer. And here we have something that man, this is real perfect temperature here. And yeah, you just drop your ice cream in. I usually use a spoon and not an ice cream scooper, and that's merely because I don't want the ice cream to be in a ball because it's gonna make it harder to melt and blend in with the rest of the beer. By the way, the beer's cold too. You gotta keep it cold so that everything lasts a decent amount of time. You wanna take your time with this thing. So yeah, you wanna top this thing off, and that's your basic ice cream beer float. And it's delicious. And I'm using Sam Smith's Tatty Porter for this because it is semi-sweet, it's really malty and rich, but it doesn't have a whole lot of bitterness. I love this beer so much. Put the ice cream into there, and then I'm gonna get a little twirl around. You know, this is the official twirl around action. Some might spill out, that's fine. You can clean it up later. Classic. But does classic mean best? No, it doesn't. I'm gonna show you three more that are even better. The first better option, make that stout an Imperial stout that was put in a barrel for a while. In this example, I'm using this beer because it's the one they had at the store that was close to me. Not because I endorse this brewery or care about any of this bullshit. Okay, well, I do care about this a little bit. I'm kind of sad about some of the problematic headlines I've been seeing about founders, but don't think I'm supporting that. This is just an example. It'll work with most any barrel-aged Imperial stout. This one, it's got the extra kick of chocolate and coffee added to it. Yours doesn't have to. Just make sure it doesn't have a whole lot of bitterness. This has a bit of alcohol, but that's okay. It works in the float. And you make this one the same way as you make the last one. You start out with some vanilla ice cream. You pour your beer into the glass. And then you add your vanilla ice cream. You've seen this happen already. Like, this is nothing new to you. You're not learning anything right now, other than you could use a bigger beer and it is more delicious than the one you're used to. Also, finish it off with a little bit of a cinnamon. A little cinnamon up on top. Delicious. That's not gonna give you any kind of weird disease. It's just cinnamon. Lots of beers have it already. Oh, and if you want a cool garnish, a little bit of white chocolate right there. Look at that. Man, that's a dessert you're gonna remember and write home about. Oh God, it's so good. This is delicious. Moving on. Hey, whoever said beer floats should only be stout and vanilla ice cream has probably lived in the dark winter wonderland, and that's it. Because there are other places you can go with this. And I'm talking about something fresh and tart and something fruity together. I have Dogfish Head's Sea Quench, which is a beer that I actually really, really love, along with Jenny's Frosé Sorbet. This is a sorbet meant to resemble sangria, which I think will go amazingly. I know, I tried all these already. I know will go amazingly with Sea Quench from Dogfish Head. So again, similar way of construction. You pour your beer, you toss in some of these delicious fucking chunks of this sorbet, and any sorbet will work. Any light, tart beer will also work. Think about having a Berliner Weiss with a mango sorbet. Yum. Think about having, some pineapple sorbet in a light pale ale. Delicious. Do it like this. Add yourself some fruit, some bits that are going to be great to bite into once you're kind of working through this thing. The world is your oyster, and this one is amazing. I had like 4 of these last week. They're so refreshing. Now that it's starting to get warmer here in Austin, man, screw you, Jimmy Buffett. This is my Margaritaville. Moving on. Ice cream and IPA? Yeah, that's right.
But John, I thought you said a minute ago not to put anything creamy with anything bitter.
Well, I'm not. IPAs today aren't very bitter, like this Tupps Double Dry Hopped India Pale Ale Series 8. It's hopped with Mosaic and Lemon Drop and something called X06297. I don't know what that means. I'm not an X-Man. But what I am is somebody who likes delicious things, and guess what? This type of IPA, low bitterness, really high hoppiness. Hoppiness does not equal bitterness. Remember that. There are a lot of beers out there that are extremely hoppy and not very bitter. Look at New England IPAs. That's where you should start with this combination. You take your IPA, your low bitterness, usually hazy style IPA. That's gonna work perfect for this. You take your vanilla ice cream, going back to the classic here, for a completely not classic combination. You don't ever think that this is going to work, but yeah, it does. And guess what? Breweries know this. They're making these lactose milkshake IPAs. Well, here it's pretty much the same thing. You're adding something lactosey, you're adding some vanilla to a delicious hazy IPA. And we're gonna be topping it off with just a small little squeeze of orange juice. Why? Because that is going to take it all the way there. This is a creamsicle, ladies and gentlemen. It is one of the most delicious combinations for beer floats that there is, in my opinion. Not only that, but when I poured this for the gang, we were testing these out a couple of weeks ago. I poured one of these for the guys and they flipped out. They never thought this would work as well as it does. Straight away. That's amazing. It tastes like a creamsicle and a hoppy creamsicle. And yeah, I want to be buried with this thing. Anyway, I hope you learned something other than, hey, that's how he's fat. I want you to try your own combinations. Go out there, experiment. Think of what flavors might work together. Think of food and how food combines flavors, and maybe how you can apply some of those things to beer and make yourself some amazing beer floats. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, listen to the Beerists podcast on your favorite podcast app, and yeah, thank you so much. Enjoy your life. Oh my God.